On today's show,
It's time to completely overreact and play It's Just One Game, but
Durant has ruined the Warriors. LeBron's already won his 5th MVP. Super team, more like pooper team.
and we'll count down our 5 favorite moments from the Cavs' extravagant ring ceremony.
It's Wednesday, October 26th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to the starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast, watching on YouTube, or joining us live right now on NBA TV, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tas Millis.
I have real teeth.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Hey!
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, it's the bearded one. It's Trey Kirby.
Hey!
Oh, TK, what do you got for us?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And as y'all know, the NBA season kicked off last night, and while I'm sure we all had a great time watching the games, getting back at the swing of things, nobody had a better time than our own J.E. Skeets, who somehow scored courtside tickets for last night's Cavs game.
That's
Skeets,
him.
No, it's not.
must have been a great time. How'd you pull this off?
Oh, we had an early show
Early show,
yesterday.
fly up, fly back.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I got a private
Gotta
jet.
say though,
What do you
Look
want
at
me to do?
the Look at that
does
likeness.
look like you.
Come
Wow.
on. He's showing off
Eerily
some chest.
similar.
Why don't you show off some chest?
See, what is, he's not wearing an undershirt? Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah.
An uncanny likeness, but Skeets, I saw that this was blowing up your Twitter
Yeah.
timeline yesterday, so it brings us to today's question. Where else have you seen the starters recently? I'll start with me since people see me all the time, but never more often than during hockey season. I got the beard for it. As for Tas, you can catch him anytime. NBA TV runs the 2009 NBA Finals.
That's me in the middle.
But for Lee, you're gonna have to wait until Turner Classic Movies shows The Terminator! But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter, where else have you seen the starters recently? Send us some pictures, use #TheStarters. We'll see the best ones a little bit later.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lee actually wore those sunglasses on the show
It
during
was
the
a
live
bright
hit.
day. It was a bright day.
It was so sunny out there. Those glasses actually were so comfortable and so nice. I wanted to keep them.
Cool story, bro. All right. Look, it's become a bit of a staple here on the starters for us to completely overreact after just one night of basketball, just blow things out of proportion, make mountains out of molehills. Yes, it's time to play once again. It's just one game, but TK, take it away.
All right, from 24-0 to a 29-point loss at home on opening night. It's just one game, but Kevin Durant has ruined the Warriors.
Oh, come on. Yeah,
It's over!
Kevin Durant was responsible for the housing crisis. He's rigging this election.
Yeah.
Come on, I cannot get behind
I
this
agree.
one whatsoever. They got destroyed yesterday. I don't think a lineup of MJ, Magic, Bird would have defeated the Spurs.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Jonathan Simmons is great, but I think those guys
everybody else around KD fell apart. They got beat by 29.
No, they
they
got
got
punked.
beat
They got
all over the place. You saw their bench killed, especially inside. We talked about this coming into the season. They were worried about their defense, and KD worked his butt off to get a couple blocks in there and to do his job. But defensively, when you get second chance points 26 into your bucket and you only put 4 into the other bucket, well, there's a huge problem. You got out-rebounded by 20. That's not Kevin Durant's fault. That's just a team that didn't look as ready as the other team that obviously has a ton of experience. They got destroyed in every single facet.
Is Steve Kerr secretly loving this outcome? That
Yeah.
his team gets killed by the Spurs on opening night?
He told us this was going to happen. Like, things like this were going to happen.
I think that, though, because it really does, it completely lowers expectations. And I know, and we're having fun with this. It's just one game. That's the whole point of this, where we overreact. But in a way, it's good. Now he knows. He drives home, hey, you got to listen to the little things here. We got to do the little things. I mean, they got killed on the glass. They got destroyed in transition. We saw him yelling at Draymond Green in one particular play to get the Eck back. Way to
Eck back.
blurt myself there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this is good in a weird way.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm not so worried. I'm not worried about this
By the
team,
way,
though.
this is the Spurs, who won 67 games last year,
Yes.
have the second runner-up MVP. I mean, they're a great basketball team.
The only time last year the Warriors lost to the Spurs was when Andrew Bogut wasn't in the lineup, and you saw the same things. Beaten on the glass, couldn't get good shots off, and defensively they just weren't the same. Andrew Bogut, they obviously had to make way. He had to make way to get Kevin Durant to that team. They are really going to miss his presence inside, defensively, and on the glass. Because you saw it last night. Popovich bombed that ball inside as well. They had a height advantage, a size advantage, and the Spurs took full advantage of it.
That's the biggest problem, is just rim defense and just
Yeah.
being ready at the rim. They think they can outscore people a lot of the time. Everyone sort of thinks that, which is fair to say. They probably might end up doing that. But the fact is, you said it, the Spurs won 67 games. They subbed in Powell for Tim Duncan. There's a chance that they can nab the number 1 seed.
Right.
Because we just sort of forget that this team won so many basketball games. I'm not so worried that the Warriors are going to forget how to do the little things and play basketball, because they're the Warriors. They do that.
That's fair, but I would be worried, and look, they're not going to go 9-73 this season, but can Zaza Pachulia, David West, and JaVale McGee, or some mixture of that, can they give them Bogut-like defense at the center position? The dirty Bogut-like screens, the rebounding, the rim protect, all that stuff. Can they get that from them? You were high on the Zaza Pachulia signing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he can keep up with that squad. He's not as good as Bogut is on that end.
No, he's not.
Not
But
even close.
they signed Kevin Durant
they've got Durant.
and watched him be that against them in the postseason. They watched him be a really good rim defender. They know Zaza Pachulia is not that. That's where he comes in. And I think, again, a couple blocks, it was just the rest of the team. When Andre Iguodala is a minus 29,
And Kawhi went straight at him too.
yeah.
He wasn't.
We'll get to Kawhi.
Yeah.
We'll get to Kawhi.
All right, let's head back over to Trey. It's just one game, Trey.
All right, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 14 assists, and a Cavs blowout. It's just one game, but LeBron James has already won his 5th MVP.
No.
It's a lock.
No. In
Lock
fact,
it in.
no.
Lock it in.
If the ballots had to be placed today, and for some reason they gave us one, I would have LeBron 3rd on my MVP ballot.
That's why they
list.
wouldn't give you one.
I would have him. No, I would have him properly, in my opinion, behind Damian Lillard and Kawhi Leonard after one game of
Well, you got
basketball
Jonathan
last night.
Simmons, man.
Jonathan Simmons, he's coming in 4th. He's in 4th. But no, I go actually. LeBron was great. The triple-double is unbelievable. It came easy. It was against the Knicks.
Yeah, but
It was against the Knicks, all right?
even more impressive to me is that it came against the Knicks because he wasn't complacent at all. And he sent a message to his team and to anyone who was watching that he isn't just going to be happy with
That
that
the
one
Knicks are gonna be
championship. No, he's saying, listen, you've got to be on from the start. And maybe, we've talked about the Warriors, maybe the Warriors were a bit complacent thinking, hey, we're just going to walk out there tonight and drop 130 points. LeBron sent a message to everyone, I want more than this. He wants more than just that one championship that they celebrated last night. The dunks, the defense, the transition.
He was great. Did you watch Damian Lillard and
He's
the Blazers
awesome.
take care of the
I
Jazz
told you,
in a very entertaining game on League Pass?
I told you, watch them. They're the must-watch League Pass
They
team.
were that game was great.
Yep.
It turned into Joe Johnson going against Damian Lillard in the fourth quarter in the second half. It was unbelievable. But Lillard, 39 points, 16 coming in the fourth. He had 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and the win. And the Jazz, look, yes, Jazz fans are going to point out they were missing Hayward, they were missing Favors, Burks isn't there. All true. But great games from Johnson. Boris Diaw looked good. Gobert. Lillard, though, I mean, really, he would be, again, after one night, he would be the MVP. And he's the one that said he wanted it, and he's going for it.
I would pick Kawhi, as you mentioned. He's been unleashed in a way he's never been unleashed before. He can do whatever
it's
he
amazing.
wants on a basketball floor. Like Jonathan Simmons, for example. Last year, they had the shackles on him. He couldn't do anything. He didn't get on the floor, and when he did, he kind of had the shackles. Kawhi has slowly, those shackles have come off year by year by year. He hasn't been allowed to just do whatever he wants on the offensive end until I believe this year. You can go one-on-one if you want. You can go at this guy if you want. You can go at Draymond Green. You can go at whoever you want on any possession. He's now a superstar, full-fledged superstar. Do whatever you want.
All 3 are fair picks, and Jonathan Simmons as well. That's 20.
He was
All right,
good.
great. Time for one more.
Saying, don't discount my man Jonathan Simmons,
Yeah, we-
one-time starter's guest.
That's right.
Nonetheless, our last one, Skeets. You
Yep.
called it during our season preview. The Knicks are a pooper team, not a super team. It's just one game, but
That's true.
that.
That is.
It's true.
Hey, man, I already said the line, okay?
Hey, you're
There's
supposed to
just
start with
one
something.
game,
But
but the Knicks
No, it's true.
are a pooper team, not a super
There
team.
you go. I'm glad we got that.
Look, this is Kristaps Porzingis' team. They've got to go through him more. He had 13 shots last night. Rose had 17. Melo had 18. A lot of those are ISO. Porzingis has got to get touches from the start.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I know Rose is trying to resurrect his career. He's got a one-year contract. Porzingis is going to be there for as long as possible, 10, 12, 15 years. And the offense didn't seem to go to him at the start. He got some sort of points at the end, but by then the game was kind of out of reach. The Knicks, I don't care what offense you're running, whether it's the triangle or whatever, get Porzingis the ball, get him some shots early, show him that, hey, we are building around you, we want you to be the future. It was an awful start from the Knicks, I
Yeah,
thought.
not a good
in
start.
a lot of ways.
And
Yeah.
they looked, what was bad is they looked similar to the Knicks of old, where they took a bunch of mid-range field goal attempts and
didn't
whoever
play
wants to
D.
hit the 3 or get to the rim. Yeah. All right, we got lots more still to come when we come back. Jared Greenberg joins us live from the city of brotherly love. Back with the starters, the Cleveland Cavaliers received their NBA championship rings last night before defeating the Knicks, and it was quite the spectacle, which is why we're counting down our top 5 Cavs ring night moments.
At number 5, let's see it. Oh, whoa. Some beautiful colors. Love the color scheme. That is gorgeous.
I think it's too small.
Yeah. Bottom right, look at that one. That's the order of the wins in the finals.
Nice.
Loss, loss, win, loss. And you know the rest. Win, win, win.
Brutal.
Always remember that.
Those are crazy. Those are crazy. At number 4, they took those rings. I love this. The Cavs did. They dapped up the banner.
I like that LeBron did it, so everybody's like,
Yeah.
we gotta hop in. Get your fingers up here.
JR really sprinkled that diamond dust on that banner. That's up there forever.
Little dust in the air for JR.
Yeah.
At number 3, some highly, highly coordinated handshakes. These guys are in mid-season
That's a
form.
handshake?
Well, that was more of a fight.
come on,
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, here they come.
Yeah, rev it up.
Yeah, we've done this before.
Could you remember 15 of these?
I know. It's
these
impressive.
guys are amazing. They're amazing at what they do.
This is an underrated part of basketball IQ.
Right. Number 2, The Undertaker, guys. Yes, The Undertaker showed up in full gimmick at the arena last night to support the Cavs. This, of course, LeBron James, who wore the Undertaker shirt in the finals after Game 5 there. It was, the guys were happy, and the wrestling continued. LeBron gave us a quick Ric Flair impersonation.
Almost like Ric Flair say, "Woo!"
Everyone loves doing a Ric Flair. And at number 1, it's the King and his ring as he grabbed the thing doing the transmitting.
None of us will ever forget. None of us. Anybody in this building, anybody in this community, anybody in this state, anybody that got any ties to Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. You know, from this building to next door, where our guys next door opening the World Series. At this point, if you're not from here, live here, play here, dedicate yourself to Cleveland, then it makes no sense for you to live at this point. Cleveland against the world.
Congratulations again to the Cleveland Cavaliers and their fans on the championship banner and rings. Up next, Jared Greenberg. Jared Greenberg.
Welcome back to the starters' second night of the NBA season. Always a treasure for NBA fans. A huge schedule, 10 games in all. And one of those games, OKC and Philadelphia. To tell us what's going on in Philly, it's our very own
Jerry Greenberg. Jerry Greenberg. Jerry Greenberg. Jerry Greenberg. Jerry Greenberg.
Yes! I hope you're flying with that because you're going 5 cities, 5 days. Just put that in your ears as you fly to each city. How are we doing in city number 2?
Well, I didn't sleep very well last night because I kept on singing the song. But hey, the good news, or maybe the bad news, is I'm back in my old stomping grounds of being in the Northeast. So my cynicism, my sarcasm is back at full strength.
Okay, we know what you did last night. Then I guess you were tossing and turning. What did Russell Westbrook do yesterday, as you found out today in shoot around?
Well, curious minds wanted to know if he so happened to watch. Listen, not just opening night of the NBA. There's a lot of sports. I mean, I would think most Americans, based on the ratings last night, you don't live under a rock. You were watching the World Series or you're watching TNT's opening night doubleheader or the League Pass game. But Russell Westbrook he's clearly not most people.
I'm busy doing something y'all probably don't want to hear about. I play cards, man, so just chilling, minding my business, eating a nice dinner, talking to my wife on the phone, and went to sleep, if y'all want to know. Took a shower. I use Dove soap. Brush my teeth. No, it's not. Brush my teeth, wash my face, went to sleep, put a movie on before I went to sleep, and that's what I did.
So he's got good hygiene, but he doesn't want to watch his former running mate play with the Golden State Warriors as the Dubs put out a dud last night, guys. When I was listening to Russell Westbrook, I was wondering where he was going to go with, you don't want to know what I was doing last night.
Yeah.
Right? He teased us and then really swung and missed with, he washes his face before bed.
Well, he uses Dove soap. That's good for the environment. I believe that's a bar of soap, which is really good. You shouldn't use liquid soap. Anyway, you're in Philly. That must be strange, Jared, because there is hope around this franchise again. They're signing free agents. Joel Embiid is playing for the first time since he was drafted in 2014. Does it feel different in Philadelphia?
It does, and guys, you were there in Las Vegas, where I felt at Summer League back in July, there were two main storylines. The obvious was the shock and awe and the buzz about Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, but right behind that story over the summer, when most team executives were there, was about the optimism and the new outlook by Brian Colangelo and the Sixers. And really, when you break it down, it's not all that different from what Sam Hinkie did, except for the fact that they were more publicly, they were making themselves available to the public, speaking to the fans, speaking to the media, letting it known a little more clearly what the plan was. Plus, you get Ben Simmons. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I think the emotions are tempered a bit tonight because Simmons isn't playing. I've had a lot of people around Philadelphia use words like, we're jinxed, there's a curse because of all of the injuries. But the anticipation for Joel Embiid, and speaking to some local reporters that have covered the team for a long time, this is one of the bigger debuts they've seen in Philadelphia in a very long time. He's outspoken, he's fun to watch, he had a really good preseason, and I think that this guy is ready to take this city by storm tonight. And in fact, over the last 3 years, you'd be hard-pressed to count all the sellouts that they've had in this building on more than 3 fingers, because there's been about that many. Tonight they're anticipating, if not a sellout, really close, which is impressive.
His coach is already comparing him to Tim Duncan, so far so good for Joel Embiid. We will be watching you all week, 10 before tip, as you tour the U.S. Jared, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern from Chicago. Dwayne Wade's Bulls debut.
That's just one game on the docket tonight.
Thunder Sixers,
Of 10. So what are you guys watching? Are you watching Philly OKC, or where are you taking it?
Yeah, I'm excited about that game. I think I'm more excited about the Wolves Grizzlies, though. I'm excited to see if this IT team, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves and all their young guys led by Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins, whether or not this is for real and they can sort of start, and it's only one game, but to begin to make a push for the playoffs. This is a franchise that hasn't been to the playoffs in 12 years.
A lot of years.
12 years.
That's the longest span in the NBA,
Yeah,
right?
that's absolutely right. I want to see the Wolves' defensive growth under new coach Thibodeau there. I mean, this was, they were 28th last year. They were even worse the year before that. But Tibbs, when he was with the Bulls, those 5 years he was coaching them, the worst defense they had was, 6th or something like that. So they were always top 10 material. Can he get the Wolves with all those young guys to that level? And the Grizzlies will be just as interesting as well with their guys coming back from injury in Gasol and Conley being there. No Parsons tonight, but that game, I want to see the Timber Pups finally try and make a push here, yeah.
Defensively and offensively, Tibbs coming back as a head coach is sort of changing his ways. He's going to let his guys shoot the 3 ball.
Right.
So they're going to space the floor. I want to see if Ricky Rubio is a little bit reincarnated under Tom Thibodeau, because things were not pretty the last couple of years. But what are you watching, sir?
Another team on the rise is the LA Lakers, the post-Kobe LA Lakers, and the birth of young Hollywood is there. And it really starts with
Young
D'Angelo
Hollywood.
Russell.
I
Yeah,
love
young
young
Hollywood, yeah. No, look, D'Angelo Russell is a star already. I mean, he is in running
He
already,
is.
I think, for most improved.
Sure.
Potentially an all-star. I mean, that's probably a little bit early for him. But
You
this
mean
team,
before he's played a game?
well, this team is his team now, I think, going forward. I mean, they've got some good pieces. Clarkson, Randall, obviously Brandon Ingram as well. Those other guys, they're going to take a little bit of time to develop. But what we've seen from Russell, especially at Summer League and already in the preseason, he looks like he's going to be a very good point guard. Great court vision, great ball handling. Needs to work on his shot and his defense a little bit. But again, a young guy. I think if you're a Lakers fan, you really are going to start seeing what's coming 3 or 4 years down the track.
Yeah, last year was the Kobe show. They were completely overshadowed by Kobe's swan song, long season-long swan song. And, guys like Russell and Clarkson, as great as they were at times, and they struggled at times with Byron Scott, they were spectators. Exactly. Now this is their team. We get to see what they can do. It should be interesting. And look, the Rockets could be entertaining as well. How many points are they going to score tonight?
They got 150 waiting tonight. Mike
150?
D'Antoni going back to Los Angeles against the 30th ranked defense last year.
It's quite
150.
I know
possible.
I
play.
keep picking the late games, though.
Yeah. I thought you went to bed at 8 o'clock.
That's what League Pass is
Yeah.
for. All right, we got a great night coming up. We also had a very solid one last night. Stay tuned.
All right, inspired by my doppelganger sitting courtside in Cleveland last night, we asked you earlier in the show, where else have you seen the starters? Trey, you got a few of the best answers from Twitter.
Yeah, some very funny stuff. Been laughing quietly to myself. Ruben says, I've seen Skeets on Phineas and Ferb. Looks like if Skeets and Lee had a baby, actually.
That's true.
Joe says, I'm sometimes reminded of the episode when Ned shaves his mustache when I see Lee Ellis.
Oakley dokley.
And some lady named Danielle says, Chia Pet Tray popped up on my Amazon Prime deal of the day. I actually get a cut for every one of those things. Pretty nice.
Oh, great stuff. Keep that coming. Okay, guys, longtime fans of the starters know every night we pick, or attempt to pick a winner in our pick 'em battle. Stakes are high because at the end of every month, the guy with the worst record has to pay it off. And when I mean pay it off, I mean pay it off. We've had snakes in here, hosted shows from the box.
Looks delicious.
Chugged eggnog and got super sick from that. So we're playing up to the end of November, of course. October, not very long.
We got a split board.
Tonight's game, Wolves, Grizzlies. Trey and I like the Timber Pups. Tass and Lee say, no, Grizzlies.
Not yet.
At home.
They're not a good road team, right, Lee?
All right, Lee. I'm so excited because it's time for the very solid play of the night.
It's back.
Took less than 2 minutes into last night's Cavs and Knicks game to get this beauty from LeBron. Watch this beautiful bounce pass backdoor.
Oh.
J.R. Smith with the layup. The definition of a very
That's
solid
too
play
sexy,
is
man.
way too sexy.
That's
a
too
good
sexy.
ball movement that leads to a high percentage basket. That's what I call
That-
a very solid play.
You're off to a bad start.
Yeah.
That'll be in our top 10 plays of the week.
Yeah, it will
You're
be.
crazy, Lee. That wasn't even the most very solid play of the game, let alone of the night. Because it's a little bit later, the Cleveland Cavaliers got the real very solid
Yes.
play. 10 passes on this possession, Lee. Everybody touches it. There's a couple of bounce passes. I know LeBron dunked it. You would rather see a layup. But still, this ball movement
That's
side to
fantastic.
side underneath for the dunk, and that's what I call a very solid play.
That dunk from LeBron was like a layup. You saw his
Yeah.
other dunks last night.
The dunk disqualified it. Too
Lee
ferocious.
just had to go to bed.
yeah.
He got it 2 minutes in.
Peace out.
I'm done. Now it's time for the highlight that wasn't. We keep showing you the clips. Just because a play didn't actually count doesn't mean it wasn't great. Like LeBron's block here. That wasn't actually during play because it was a foul. Watch out, Channing Frye, look out!
Oh, in the face!
Oh, great stuff. C-Web called it D-Wade-like. It very much was D-Wade-like.
Yeah, there it is. All right. 10 games on tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, to break down as many as possible. Get your tweets in. Keep the comparisons to all of us coming.
good
Hashtag the
stuff.
starters, but we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, if you leave your garage door open, well, sometimes things might get stolen, but sometimes they might not.
Brace the night, people. Game time coming up next.